Hey Ottawa, this is your Monday market snapshot for the Ottawa real estate market for Monday, September 25th, 2023. My name is Annalee Rice and I'm a realtor here in Ottawa, Ontario. And every week I bring the updates of what's going on in the Ottawa real estate market. So, little side comment. I'm a bit of a soccer fan. I've always enjoyed playing soccer. And now that we have teams to watch here in Ottawa, I enjoy watching soccer. And so yesterday I was at the Ottawa Atletico's final home game, and in hopes that they would win and continue their push for playoffs this year. Unfortunately, they didn't win, but it was a special day for the Ottawa Atletico and the soccer community here in Ottawa because the team captain for the Ottawa Atletico, Carl Haworth, was playing his last home regular season game. He's retiring at the end of the season. So I'm sporting my Ottawa Atletico scarf today, part of my thing to support them. I hope they do make the playoffs and that we'll have some more soccer here in Ottawa throughout the fall. Okay, let's get on to the update for this week. Okay, so first off, Citywide. We see that there is, again, a jump in the active listings across the city, and it's pretty well balanced across the property types. It was a climb of 85 listings for this week. For sales, we're also up this week. It was about 10% up from what we saw last week, and most notably, the sales increase was for the townhomes. Okay, so we can look at it in chart form here. We can see that for the third week in a row, our inventory levels have been climbing. It's getting pretty high up. Conditional sales stayed steady this week, and the sales climbed again. You can see that. And they actually outpaced the number of conditional sales this week. So I would expect that it's possible that sales will start, they'll level off. Generally, they don't outpace the conditional too much unless the market does pick up a fair bit. Okay, so for new listings this week, there were 459 properties listed this week. It's slightly down from last week, but still quite high, quite strong, especially for this time of the year. 75% or 344 of those properties were new to the market, and 25% or 115 were properties that were relisted. Of the properties that sold this week, 24% of them sold with no conditional period. And of the properties that sold this week, only 16% were on the market for 7 days or less. Of those 16%, 56% of those sold with no conditions. 54% of the homes that sold this week sold with 30 days or less. And that percentage is continuing to drop. And that's due to the inventory climbing. Houses are staying on the market longer. Homes that aren't priced right or are being outcompeted by new properties coming on the market, they're taking longer to sell. So fewer homes are selling quickly. Okay, let's zoom in and see what's going on in the different regions of the city. In the central urban region, we see that there was an increase to active listings across property types, most notably the condo market. Sales were also up across property types, not so much in the detached, but fairly good for townhomes and condos. In Canada and Statesville, we see that the active listings climbed across property types for detached and towns and were steady for condos. And sales were actually down just slightly across property types in Canada and Statesville this week. In Barrhaven and Riverside South, we have a jump in the active listings for detached of 10, but remember there was a 10 drop last week, most notably because there were a whole bunch of conditionally sold properties. So we've recovered from the dip last week, and property listings are up across property types this week in Barrhaven Riverside South. Sales are up for detached and towns and just down slightly for condos. And in Orleans, we have a climb in detached and condos, most notably condos in Orleans, but then a drop in the number of townhomes listed for sale. Sales were up for detached and towns and down fairly significantly for condos. As always, I've got the full details in the chart format if you want to look at that and see how the different regions compare on prices or days on market. And the townhomes, we can see the townhomes are still continuing to sell a little bit quicker than most of the other property types. And condos. And Canada Statesville was pretty quick sales on the condos this week. Okay, so next week I'll be including a bunch of the different tables and charts, as will be at the end of the month. But I did want to include, just because we've seen a lot of shift in the market this month, we've seen a lot of inventory come on, and although we have seen the sales pick up. So I wanted to look at what the average days to sell had was at this present moment. So right now, as of last night, the detached for September is at 28 days. It's actually a little bit of a drop. So you can see that the newer inventory is what's tending to sell and for detached. For townhomes, it climbed just slightly. I think it's just probably because there's a lot more inventory that's come on. And surprisingly, the condos jumped up to 32 days after being down at more of the higher 20s for the last 4 months there. So that might just be a bit of a blip following the Labor Day weekend and the slower sales that we had going into September. But anyways, this is the snapshot as of this week, and I will update this for next week. Okay, so that's my update for this week. I hope that if you have any questions or comments, please get in touch, drop me a line, leave a message. Please subscribe to the channel if you like these updates and you'd like to be notified when I release the Monday Market Snapshot. I hope you have a fantastic week.